right, welcome back for another episode of Hidden Gems. This is the video series where I talk about those books that are still probably tucked away in those boxes at your LCS or wherever you're buying your comic books. These aren't the hot books. These aren't the books that everybody's searching for. These are some underappreciated, forgotten about, undervalued type books. Just interesting little things that I think is worth knowing, and just some books I want to share with you guys, including some of the artist-focused stuff that I also like to do. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Check out the memberships, as I got membership content now dropping during the week. And yeah, speaking of the artist thing, let me know in the comments whether you think I should spin off the artist with the covers as well as the retrospective into its own little segment show. Like sometimes these shows can run a little bit long, so I'm thinking of maybe breaking them apart and just doing hidden gems as the other categories of all the different types of books you can find, from the oddities, nostalgia, variants, later prints, mashups, movies, all that stuff. If you think I should split off the artist retrospective part as well as the that should be a cover part into its own little short show, that could be something a little easier to digest content. Let me know what you think in the content, in the comments. So yeah, getting all tongue-tied here. But just let me know if you still want them together. I mean, I can, but sometimes these shows run like 40 minutes, or I can break them apart so it's a little bit more, like I said, user-friendly. So you guys got more time to check out different stuff. So with that said, if you want to see what I got for you this week, just hang out for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm considering breaking off the artist retrospective, and that should be a cover into its own little thing. Once again, let me know what you think in the comments, of whether you think it's a good idea to split it off so you can have like shorter shows and you don't have to sit through 40 to 45 minutes of a huge long show. Just because of that, I also made this one a little bit shorter as far as the other categories go, because I felt like these shows are growing a little bit too long for a Monday thing. So with that said, let's start in with our quick artist retrospective. And this will be a quick artist retrospective because the artist that I want to talk about today doesn't have a hugely published work for covers and whatnot, but I will be supplementing that with that should be a cover, because I think this artist is fantastic. And the artist I want to talk about this week is apologies if I mispronounce your name, but it's Nabetse Zitro. Zitro? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Nabetse, I think, is how it's pronounced, but could be wrong. But fantastic, fantastic art. And I'm just going to show you some of this stuff here so you can get a taste. Again, not a lot, not a long like history, a huge portfolio of work yet, but hopefully we see more as he's getting some more covers coming, and some coming even as recent as this week. But we'll get to that in a second. This cover here, this first one I'm showing you, this is Black Widow one. This goes back to May of 2021, so it's not even that old. It's less than 2 years old. This is a 1 in 25 incentive variant for Black Widow #7, and it's a pretty cool cover. I like the layout. I like the two sides kind of split there, and it does all right for this being 1 in 25. Yeah, $18. A little under ratio is the one has sold for recently, and the asking prices are anywhere from as cheap as $18 all the way up to $90. I don't understand why the range is so wide, but there it is. And you can see there's a $35 one there in the middle as well. I think the $18 one might be damaged, so keep that in mind as well. So the damaged one aside, this seems to be asking at least above ratio. But the one that did sell sold for just right around ratio when you factor in the shipping from the UK there. Now, the first work that I could find, first published work as far as chronologically goes, was his February 2021 book, which again, it's only 2 years ago. This was another 1 in 25 for Black Cat #3. I know Black Cat had a lot of incentive, a lot of exclusive covers for the beginning part of that run, so there are a lot of incentives out there. So I think that is why this one is actually not that expensive, because again, there's a lot of the incentives out there. Here, this was actually, I think, this was a choose, but it's $20 basically for the incentive is what actually sold. And the asking price, and the only one I could find on here was for right around ratio. So right at $24.99 is what the asking price for the one that I could find. Again, I thought I would find a lot more because of the exclusives, but there's only one up right now. Only one up right now for whatever reason. From there, Nabetse's next work, if again, apologies if I'm getting the name wrong, but that I was going through chronologically here, May of 2021, the same time as that Black Widow 1 in 25, is this B cover for X-Men Curse of the Man Thing. So you get a Man Thing, Magic, X-Men crossover, pretty cool. This is just a B cover, so this is something you can find out there really cheap. I like it, I dig it, like just the two of them together, and $3 up to $13 raw, and then there was a 9.8 that sold for $70 back at the end of November. It's interesting, right? Somebody had a 9.8 of this. I wouldn't have thought that people would have been grading this, but somebody did. And it sold. Asking prices are right there above cover. We're talking $5.99, $6.59, there's a $4.49. This is a $4 book, so actually it's a $5 book. So it's right there, a little above cover price, which is kind of interesting. October of 2021, we get another incentive. This time it's Spider-Woman. I dig this Spider-Woman. She's coming right at you. It's a pretty good layout. I like the background. It frames her pretty well with the trade dress. I like it. I like it. 1 in 25 here. None had sold that I could find in the last 3 months. So nothing came up as a sold for this particular variant. And there are some asking prices out there going anywhere from about $18 up to like 40. Most of them in that $30 to $40 range, so most of the asking prices are ratio and above, but there are a couple that are right there, right around that ratio market for the 1 in 25. Now, the next book, maybe this is what I think I was confusing the amount of copies you could find for the Black Cat #3 with this next one because it's Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond #1. And this is another 1 in 25. This is from January of last year. So, once again, not that long ago, just about a year ago. Plenty of copies sold, and it doesn't sell for a whole heck of a lot. This is a 1 in 25, mind you, that's selling for about $5 to $7. Once again, a lot of exclusives on this one. Yeah, you had the J. Scott Campbells, and a lot of people were buying a lot of different covers, a lot of different versions of this. I think there's Hughes out there people like too. So there are a lot of these 1 in 25s, which is why I think the price is so low. Even the asking prices are only around $7, $12, up to 20. So I couldn't find even one asking ratio or above. So all of the asks are below ratio, in some cases well below ratio. So, this is one you could probably scoop up for cheap, and it's still 1 in 25. Next, we have a book from September of 2022. This is another B cover. This is Marvel Voices. This is the Cumin Duck. I'm gonna mess it up, so I'm not even gonna try. Marvel Voices. This is a B cover from September 2022. Didn't find any that sold. Mind you, this is like a $10 cover price book. This is one of those big, thick, thick little books. So this is like $10, I think, right? $9.99, I believe. And the asking prices are right there around $6 up to $20. Now, I mentioned upcoming because this week we are getting Wasp #2. Granted, we reviewed this on the Tax Show. First issue was not that great of a read, so I'm not really looking forward to reading this book, but I do dig this cover. So this is a pretty cool cover for Wasp #2, and I believe this is just like a B cover, like a regular variant. This is not a 1 in 25. It's not an incentive. So there it is. Keep an eye out for it. You want to go check it out, and you can see pre-sales going right around cover, $4 or $5 thereabouts, and that's also what the asks are a little under $359, $339, $375. So yeah, it's a new release type of book. So pre-orders are going to be there, but it's right there, right around cover. So this is not at a discount yet. I mean, it's coming out 2 days. It's coming out Wednesday, so not expecting this to be deep discounted yet. So just another book for you to keep an eye out for, as well as this one, which is not even coming out until a couple of weeks from now. This is coming out in March. This is another 1 in 25 for Scarlet Witch. I think this is #3. I think it's for Scarlet Witch #3. So he got to do another incentive variant here from Marvel, and again, it's coming out in another couple of weeks. So pretty cool. Keep an eye out for it. Now, this one also is pre-selling for cheapest $10, $25, $30. So there's low prices, and then there's ratio and above prices. It's a pre-sale, so you never know. It's what's there is there. People are going to pay what they want to pay. Asking prices again $10, $20, $25. So basically ratio or less, you can pre-order a copy if you're that interested. Or you can go see what your shop has when it comes out in March. As you can see, that's not a huge portfolio of work, but really good stuff, including some of this stuff that I think should be a cover. And that's what we're going to roll into next. And this is one of my favorite things to do. That should be a cover. I love doing this segment. It's just a lot of fun putting these things together. This week, I actually had to do a little bit more work because Nabetse, he has a lot of sketches, more like a sketch kind of look out there. Like, here we go. I'm going to show you my examples. So we got this Catwoman. This is me kind of framing it down to like a smaller size. But the sketch that I found online is this. It looks like it's on a parchment type of paper. Really cool. It's a cool look, but it's fully rendered, fully colored. But this isn't going to work on its own, I don't think, for a cover, that parchment look. So I had to do some faux backgrounds and start throwing some things together. As again, you guys know by now, I've done this a few weeks. These aren't real. These don't exist. They only exist in my mind. I'm just grabbing pieces, throwing things together because I think this should be a cover. And if we were to take this, throw it onto a different background and, put the trade dress and everything on it, this is what we'd be looking at. So Gotham City in the background, Catwoman would be a cool cover, right? I don't know. I dig it. His style has like a taste of Joe Mad, who I'm a big fan of, and it has a little bit of anime flavor, a little cartoonish. It also is reminding me of some of the stuff I'm watching now, like the Castlevania cartoon on Netflix, the animated show, as well as Vox Machina, things like that. Like the art style is right in that range, and I dig it. So here's another one. It's a sketch. This is Harley. You can see it's more kind of a again on the parchment background, but I can't do this. We can't use this for a cover because it's, the juxtaposition. It's a little weird. Not weird, but you know what I'm saying? Like on a cover, I wouldn't imagine this working that way. So had to throw on a background, throw on the trade dress, and then we're looking at something more like this. And again, if I see this on the shelf, I'm in. I'm checking this out. Sticking with DC. He seems to do a lot of DC with the characters, at least on his ArtStation page. Check out his Instagram as well. All the links will be down below, so you can get a taste, for the art types. There's a lot of really other cool stuff, and I'll show you here near the end, where it's just really cool art. So these are ones I can put together and try to make like a cover, like this Batgirl. Once again, throwing the grappling hook right at you. Not going to work on the parchment, so made a faux background. This time I decided to just do a whole bunch of bats because it felt like it framed it a little bit better. And this, I think, would still work as more of a wraparound. So I made this one to be a wraparound to keep that other bit inside there. And, I don't know. I think it came out kind of cool, right? Started with the wraparounds. I got into the next one, too, that I had to do yet another one because this piece was really cool. I dig this. It's Catwoman, Batman. Pretty cool. Fun. It's telling like a little bit of a story. I could see this also working in that same way. So here, throw some trade dress on it. Got the barcode, which I'm putting on the back because, as I mentioned, this is going to be a wraparound. I probably could have pushed it a little bit more to the side so there was a little more Catwoman on the front. But, I guess it was a little bit of a rush. So this is what we ended up with. But yes, I probably could have shifted bats a little more over and moved Catwoman more onto the front, and then you got the little bit of the back. But this is what it would look like if the book was closed for my wraparound idea. Now, the next one doesn't really fit in any one place because it mashes characters from Marvel and DC together, but still was a fun piece. This, again, obviously, we're going to assume this is Catwoman staring on to Batman, helping Black Cat coming out of that same vent. So it's very similar. It goes kind of with that last one. This one, I decided to put the trade dress down below because I didn't want to cover up anything. And I still think it works well as a wraparound idea here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I still think this would be pretty cool. And if I saw this, I would definitely be buying this. And closing it up, it still works if this is just the front and then you get the Selena on the back. Like, I don't know. I think it's still pretty cool. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. I just have fun putting these things together, and hopefully the artists don't mind me playing around with their art, just making covers that I think should exist, and hopefully somebody out there goes and starts hiring some of these artists to do some more work because I would buy it if they did. With that said, I mentioned the style, and it also leaning into things that I'm a big fan of, like Castlevania. He actually did a Dracula piece, which I thought was really cool. And while there is no comic title that connects to Castlevania out at the moment, in fact, there's only that one that came out of IDW a while ago. So I'm just going to pretend like IDW still has a license. This would still work, even though it still has that similar kind of a parchment painting kind of sketchy quality. This, I think, works as it is. And if we put some trade dress on it, put the little barcode down below, I think it's pretty cool. And I would check this out. I would definitely be put on the pile. And I still think they should make a Castlevania book. Somebody should make this happen too. Up next, I got a Red Sonja. Plenty of artists get to do Red Sonja. Dynamite makes so many darn Red Sonja covers. Why not give Nabetse Zitro a try here? Zitro, again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm doing my best, but this one almost looks like it's part of a cover already. It still has that kind of washed out quality, but you put it on with the trade dress you would go to expect, it would probably look something more like this. And again, I think it works. I think it's pretty cool. So hopefully somebody out there will make this stuff. And then there's some more sketches and things that I found out there. Again, playing around with, found this black cat and thought, you know what? Even though it has that kind of sketchy quality, what would it look like if we just threw some trade dress on there? Yeah, still works. And I'd probably check this out. But then I really got into it again. A lot of sketches, a lot of cool art out there online for you to go and check out. Again, the links are down below. So I just decided to throw a bunch of stuff that I liked up here. Now, I thought at first that this was Shadowcat. Just the mask, it just made me, and the collar, it looked like, Shadowcat, but then the haircut, maybe not. I think this is another Catwoman because it matches up with another piece that I saw elsewhere. So I think this is another Catwoman piece. And we have, here's another one. Her in a box, little bat doll. Pretty cool. I got a black cat here that I found. Also, nice little piece of art. I thought about doing this next one up for a Dark Stalkers cover because we are getting a few of those now. But yeah, I figured, you know what? I'll just save it for this part. We're just showing the art. I think it's really cool. If this were a cover, I was always trying to figure out how to frame it. It would be a little tough. This would have to be some sort of maybe wrap around, or I don't know. Still, just a cool piece. This sketch, I like it. Like I said, I like the little hints of like Joe Mad in there. It's got that anime manga kind of quality to it. I dig it. I dig it. And this is just another fine piece of art. We got this vampire bit too. I think this was really cool. There's really good stuff if you just go and check out the art again down below. Here's another one. Just again, fantastic pieces of art. And the last one I decided to grab, again, I didn't want to do too much, but yeah, I get carried away because I love art. I love it. This He-Man, this Masters of the Universe with sorcerers, is pretty badass. So I think if this was fully rendered and colored, this could be an awesome cover. But it's in this kind of sketch phase, so I didn't want to try to mock something up because I'm not that talented to go and finish the hardest work. So I still think this would make for a great cover. So hopefully somebody puts it on a cover and we get this. I think it's awesome. But go check out, like I said, the links down below. Check out his art. There are new covers. Like I said, there's a cover coming out this week. There's an incentive coming out in a few weeks in March if you're interested. His portfolio is not that long, and there's a bunch of incentives, but they're all like ratio or less. So if you wanted to go and collect artists like this, you can probably go and collect all of his books up now before they get tougher and tougher to find. But that said, hopefully you like it and hopefully you enjoyed that segment. Like I said, let me know if you still wanted to be part of this show or if you want me to kind of split it off to kind of make it a little bit easier to digest these different bits. Because sometimes I feel like this first part is completely different than where I'm going to next. And we are going to go to one of those segments I introduced last week. We're going to hit it up again because I try to double dip when I bring up to a new segment just to kind of reinforce it. And we're going to go over to mashups. So we got another section of mashups that I just want to go and throw a few things out there at you. This time out, just going to reference something I've talked about before in dollar bin digging because you can find some of these really, really cheap. And this is taking DC and Marvel when they came together and got us Amalgam Comics. Remember this? Marvel did some, DC did some. They took each other's characters, mashed them together, and gave us characters like Dark Claw, where they took Wolverine and and Batman and put them together. We got Amazon. So you got Storm and Wonder Woman smashed together. Superboy and Spider-Man became Spider-Boy. These are just some couple examples. There's a bunch of titles here, and all this stuff you can keep an eye out for. These are always fun to go and grab out of the dollar bin. Bruce Wayne, Agent of the Shield, also fun one. Like I said, half of them came out of Marvel, published. Half of them were published by DC. So those creative teams and everything were working on the books, and the guts inside. They were all like one shots. There was 2 volumes or 2 runs of them. Just fun stuff. Keep an eye out for them. They're not expensive. Like I said, even here, we'll show you what they sell for. Copies can sell for like $2.50, $6, but they can also go up to like $15 for certain titles, like the Dark Claw. A lot of people like the Batman Wolverine mashup, obviously, because they're 2 of the most popular characters for their respective companies. And then asking prices again. $4 to $13, $12. You can see down below there's an example of that second run where we got the animated version, Legends of Dark Claw. So, like I said, it was 2 runs at it. Plenty of books. You can probably find them in the dollar bins. But it's just kind of fun thing to go and look for. But the other thing I want you to keep an eye out for these, which actually do all right, is if you can find the trade paperbacks for these. Now, some of these will list these as out of print, which they kind of aren't, because there's new covers, so they have re-released these, I believe. So just be careful. Don't overpay. But if you find these for cheap, you might make a couple of bucks. Here's one of the versions, taking the Marvel Comics collection. So like I said, Marvel did some. They put them together, and then DC did the other side. They put them together here in another trade, and then you can go buy these out there. Again, like I think they sell for like $30, $35. So for a trade paperback that has like a, probably cover price in the $13 to $15 kind of range, that's a pretty solid return. Especially if you can find this in like a used bookstore, or you find this out at a flea market, wherever you find those old trade paperbacks. This is one that could get you a little bit more than that cover price, basically. Asking prices here, you can see some of the asking prices are even more. Asking $55, $60, $73. And that's just the one. That's the DC one. I couldn't even find any of the Marvel one to kind of throw in there. But there was a different cover for some too. So like I said, be careful. Be careful. Because again, with the out of print, it may not be exactly the same. But keep an eye out for these, because I think it's worth your time and effort. Next up, just going to hit up some variants real quick. Like I said, I don't want this show to run too long. Still a little rundown from the weekend. It was a rough Super Bowl for me. I live outside of Philly, so I was rooting on the Eagles. So it was a rough way to finish that game. But that said, let's just shift over to variants. I got a few 1 in 10s I want to share with you. I think you should keep an eye out for. Some of these are really tough, actually. I actually considered whether I should move these to Ghosts because I couldn't even find them. And here we go. First one. 1 in 10 for Batman Beyond. This is the 2011 volume. There was a volume in 2010. This was the next run. I think it only ran for like 8 issues, this series, this ongoing. But here you go. Number 1, Darwin Cook. And that's also going to be the running through line here for our 1 in 10s. These are all Darwin Cook 1 in 10 variants. None sold for this one. As I said, I couldn't find any, nor could I find any available. So this was a case where, maybe I should have put this on the Ghost side. But just keep an eye out for it, because I know a lot of people are looking at Batman Beyond these days and still hoping and praying he's going to come, especially with the Flash trailer and all that stuff, which was actually better than I thought it was going to be. We'll talk more about it on Wednesday on the Tax Show. But speaking of Flash, we're going to go over to a 1 in 10 for Flash. Number 7 here. Kind of calling back a little bit to the Flash 2 worlds kind of thing there. You got the Zoom Reverse Flash. 1 in 10 for issue 7. This is during the Jeff Johns run. Not too bad, right? This is 2011 as well. Sold $30, $100. Best offer on $70. So well above that 1 in 10 ratio price. 1 in 10, I shouldn't say price. Usually with the ratios, most things get priced at ratio. So if it's 1 in 10, it'd be like a $10 book. 1 in 25 be 25. That's kind of like a baseline starting point. Why? I don't know. It just is. It's just the nature of how this market is going. But this has got a solid return for it only being a 1 in 10. And since it's a 1 in 10, there's chances that you can find this just in regular back issues and bins, because it's not that hard to qualify of an incentive. Like, there should be copies out there, and it may not get treated like those 1 in 25s, 1 in 50s. Stores might not have even cared. They just left it out, put it on the shelf, put it on the wall, because it's like, you know what? Whoever wants to go and grab it, they order enough copies, they can have the 1 in 10 for cover, because it's just not worth asking $7 or something for it. So they just put it out there, let their loyal customers grab it. And that's how some shops work. But again, this is 2011. So this is a long time ago too. So now it's found its way, trickled into back issue bins. It might not get priced for being that variant. It might just get priced as being just a regular cover, cover price, because it's just Flash number 7. But keep an eye out for it, because asking prices, $50. There's a 9.8 asking $280. Just saying. Darwin Cook, rest in peace. Still fantastic cover work. So there's a lot of stuff you can go out there and find, and should be looking for. Like this, Jonah Hex, number 50. Another 1 in 10. This one's pretty tough too. Like I said, I thought about putting a couple of these in Ghosts, but I decided to throw them in here because they're only 1 in 10s. Couldn't find any copies sold recently of this book, and I could only find 2 copies out there, asking $90 and $125 for a 1 in 10. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. High asking price for some of these, so keep an eye out for them. And then one more. This, I think it got some heat when the show was popular, and then the show just kind of ended with a little fanfare, but iZombie, I enjoyed it. It was an interesting little show, for being on, what was it, on CW, I think. But this is a pretty cool 1 in 10. Different art style. It's got that, cool look. It's Darwin Cook. This is a 1 in 10. Look at this, Vertigo number 1. It's even only for $1, but it's a 1 in 10. Sold copies, sold for $30, and then a best offer on $30. It looks like the same seller. I don't know if it's the same copy or if they had multiples, but $30 and a best offer on $30 back in January. But the asking prices only found raw for $70, $250 for a 9.8. So just something you should keep an eye out for, because it's only 1 in 10. Maybe you can stumble across it. Maybe you just find it where the regular books are, and it's not being priced like an incentive ratio. So just another one of those oddball little things for you to keep an eye out for. As I said, I tried to keep it short. Here, we are already almost hit 30 minutes, and I only did 2 segments beyond the artist retrospective. So, like I said, let me know if you think I should break them up or leave it as is. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you all for stopping by and checking this out. Like I said, just let me know what you think, and let me know what I should do going forward. If you like content that's a little easier to digest, should I shoot for more of the 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max? Or do you not mind running 30, 40 minutes for some of these because, you like the extra books? I don't know. That said, I'll wait to hear what you guys have to say. Hopefully I can get something out for you tomorrow. But like I said, it was a rough weekend. Wasn't feeling great. So I don't know if I'm going to get Chasing Ghosts done in time, but I'll do my best. And if not, I got plenty of other stuff coming your way. All right. So hopefully you're still enjoying all the content. Check out all the shorts that I still have dropping daily. And I'll see you guys all later with some more content. All right.